Hey guys, it's Tate here, Vice President of Business Development at Vanderbloemen. And today I'm joined by Rene Cargile, our Senior Manager of Finance here at Vanderbloemen. And we are so thankful for Rene because she is awesome at finance and systems and processes and loves spreadsheets. So Rene, I am so grateful that you're on our team. We're going to dive in today because we've been doing a series of webinars around COVID-19, and a lot of the questions we've been getting are around an unfortunate situation that so many of us are in, whether we're a business or a Christian school or a nonprofit or a church. And it's the reality that we're having to restructure right now, whether that's laying people off or furloughing or putting different people in different roles. The good news is that's what we focus on here at Vanderbloemen, is helping get the right people in the right seats on the bus at your organization. So what I wanted to learn from you is, can you help explain the difference between a furlough and a layoff?
Yeah, these are synonymous words. People in the industry use them almost like the same thing, but they're specifically different. So furlough is considered an alternative to the layoff. So usually it requires people to work fewer hours, or maybe it's requiring your exempt employees to work 32 hours instead of 40. So it's reducing or reduction in hours, and therefore a reduction in your pay. So that's kind of how the furlough is. You keep your benefits. I would say your accruals and stuff would continue at that point. It may or may not. You would have to refer to your handbook and to your employee, because that would be or employee guide, because that would be specific to each individual business. But furloughs, people tend to say that when it's not really a furlough, because they get all those mixed up. They kind of all run together. So layoff is a little bit different. So layoff is a permanent separation. It could be a reduction in workforce. There's so many things you can use it for. So it's confusing because it implies that you might recall that employee possibly, which may prevent the employee from actively seeking a job. But a layoff is a separation from the company. They're laid off. It's not because of them. It's laid off because the business can no longer afford to keep them on their payroll. They can collect unemployment benefits. The employees won't continue their benefit at that point, or any of their employee benefits. And now you're eligible for COBRA. So that's typically what the layoff means. But they use them synonymously. So a lot of people lay people off with the intention of bringing them back. So employees, that's called a reduction in force, basically. So in a reduction in force, it means that you're laying people off and they're not coming back. But people use these terms synonymously, and it's very, very confusing to people.
It is, but it's important that we get it right, because it really can help. If you have an employee who really wants to work at your organization, they don't have to work or want to work anywhere else. A layoff and a furlough can be very different meanings from the organization side of things. So I think it's important that organizations really get it clear on, are we furloughing this person or are we laying this person off, and making sure that that's communicated well to the employee.
I agree. I think that's the big thing. It doesn't matter what word you use. What matters is what you communicate to the employee. That's truly, truly what matters, is what you communicate, maybe a separation agreement that you have them sign, and what you're communicating to them. Are their benefits covered, or are their benefits not covered? Is this a temporary layoff or is it a permanent layoff? What does that look like? And write that out for that employee so it's crystal clear for them.
Absolutely. Okay, now let's transition. Once the employee has been laid off, what about this unemployment issue? Because a lot of our clients are churches, and some churches have decided not to pay into unemployment, but we're in a unique and unprecedented time with COVID-19, and there's some new rules. So can you walk us through what unemployment looks like for church employees or ministry employees in general?
So typically the church employees and ministry are not eligible for unemployment benefits, but recently what happened is that the new act stated that those people would be eligible for unemployment benefits. But what they're referring to is that $600 that you would receive from the government. That doesn't refer to, like Texas Workforce for us, you would receive money because you paid money in. It just means you would receive the government assistance. And I have a great little, I'm going to share my screen with you and show you this picture.
Yeah, please do.
Can you see that screenshot? I'm going to make it large.
Yes, there you go. It's
So what you
perfect.
need to know about unemployment benefits. So where we fall is in that non-traditional applicant is where they fall. So you can either, the new applicant, you can apply online and you receive your eligible unemployment. But what you would receive is that pandemic unemployment assistance. So that's what that's what the church and nonprofits that don't pay into Texas workforce, that's what they're eligible for. And it's
And that's
available
what that
until 7/31.
PUA,
Yes,
perfect.
pandemic unemployment assistance. Yes, but this is a great, I don't know what you call this, like a, help me,
Chart,
Holly.
graph.
Chart
Yeah,
that
the
kind
flow
of
chart.
really explains how the system works and where you are and where you fall. So it does say non-traditional applicant, which would be our church, is eligible. I have another one I'll show
Absolutely.
you
Yeah, please
that
do.
gives a little
And
bit more information.
Renee, one quick question. That said
Yeah.
Texas Workforce Commission, but do you think each state will have that, or does that chart apply to all states?
I think each state is going to be a little bit different. So I think the chart is going to apply to all states, but I'm not sure the communication is out there for every state. And so
Got it.
I simply went on to Texas Workforce Commission and I Googled pandemic relief for non-traditional non-traditional employees. And that's what I came up with. So it was very simple to find. So I would encourage you, if you're in another state, just get out on your workforce commission and look up and see and Google and understand. Some of them are just now putting some stuff together. So people are not there yet. Not everyone is there yet. We're just kind of fortunate that Texas Workforce Commission is on top of it for us.
Absolutely. So what are we looking at here?
So this is just what it stated. This is actually on the Texas Workforce Commission page, and it's just about pandemic unemployment assistance as a result of COVID-19. So how they apply, you get unemployment assistance up to 39 weeks for your benefits, and it just kind of goes through that. But I wanted to put it on the screen so people could snapshot it, take a look at it, pause the video, whatever they need to do in order to read through that, or go find it and be able to Google it and go find it on their own website.
Absolutely, super helpful. So Renee, what are the resources for folks who are over HR or over finance at their organization? What are the trusted resources out there? So the Workforce Commission for their state, what are some other trusted resources that you look to that HR professionals can trust?
I look to SHRM is one of the best ones that I have out there. That's a lot of knowledge in there. Thieves is another one that's really good. So those two things are the main areas that I go to on websites to find out information that I know is factual, because you have to have certifications in order to receive that information. So to me, that's the perfect source.
That's great. Well, Renee, thank you so much for helping us understand the difference between furloughs and layoffs, as this is an overwhelming time for so many people in this unprecedented crisis that we're in. And then also really helping us think through, not to just assume that we're ineligible as churches, because the government has really made some exceptions because they know that so many people are hurting right now. So thank you so much for sharing with us. And we are so grateful you're on our team.
Thanks.